So just here after Mass, continuing to reflect on the situation of everyone that's not at Mass, and continuing to reflect on the question of how do we develop a spirituality in the midst of this. And just a few thoughts. One is, this can just be a lesson in I don't want to say problem solving, and how to confront problems in general. A door closes, a door that we wanted to go through, a door that we like, it closes on us. And I mean, literally, the church door closes and it locks and we set an alarm. So I can just stand there and bang on that door and grow more and more frustrated as I'm more and more impeded and cut off and unable to get to where I want to go. That can just continually feed this frustration in me, continually focusing on what I don't have and continually repeating and grinding that question. It's not supposed to be like this. It shouldn't be like this. And that can just get us trapped. And that's all it is. We just keep repeating that refrain. It's not supposed to be like this. This is all wrong. And we stay there until the problem's fixed. Or if it's not fixed, we just stay, frustrated. That's one option. The other option is, a door closes and I can bang on it for a while. That's fine, express the frustration. That's good. But then I can turn and see, God, if this door is closed, maybe is there another direction you want me to be going in right now? Or is it your will that I just sit here, stuck in place, frustrated? That doesn't seem likely, right? So a couple of, potential pathways here. One is, a fruitful place of meditation is with our Blessed Mother at the tomb. So being there, Jesus has died, Jesus is gone, his presence has left her. She carries his dead body, the feel and the experience of that would never leave her, I'm sure. And then rolling the big stone in front and being cut off from him. And for that time, how is it that Mary prayed? What is it that Mary experienced? And even maybe the better question, an important part of that question, what is it that she turned to? What was her hope? How did she continue raising her eyes to God, not just staring at the stone that covered the tomb, but raising her eyes to God? I think that's a very fruitful pathway of meditation. How do we be with Mary there in the tomb, outside the tomb? Secondly, I think it's good to reflect on, as we thirst for the Eucharist, it takes us right into that great mystery of God's thirst for us. So you can think of him with the woman at the well that we just had the gospel a few weeks back, and the fact that he's the one that goes to her and says, "Give me a drink," which is this incredible expression of God's thirst for humanity. Often we don't think enough about this, I don't think. We tend to think of, when we sin, God gets angry, and that's his frustration with humanity. And he's up there, and sin is just poking him in the face and in the eye, and he's hurting all the time from sin, and therefore his reaction is frustration or anger. Rather than recognizing that the true situation of God is this great longing in his heart for humanity, and a sorrow at the union he lacks, and his burning passion to bring that union about. That's the passion that leads him to the cross. I have desired to eat this Passover with you, and how I burn with desire and longing until it's completed. That was God's longing going to the cross. It's his longing for union with humanity. It's a thirst. And so there's a way where in our own thirst, we can begin to enter into that ache of God, his longing for things to be different, his longing for greater intimacy with humanity. I think we can enter in a special way to that thirst right now. And again, so it's not getting stuck there. It's a way of moving in the midst of that pain. It's a way of connecting with the Lord in the midst of that pain. And thinking especially of his words from the cross, "I thirst." And again, this really became the heart of the spirituality of St. Teresa of Calcutta. And if we understand that spirituality, the little bit I understand of it is, She was called to serve a people who thirsted, a people who were dying alone, a people who were deprived of love, a people who were cut off and alone and abandoned. And there's this way that the Lord allowed her to experience internally those sentiments, to experience that state for a long, long time. And part of what's happening there is, I think, something like this. You can learn to be a good parent from having really good parents, or you can learn to be a good parent by having really bad parents. And you discover all the longings in yourself for everything you missed, everything that was absent in your life. I wish I would have had a parent who was there for me. I wish I had a parent who paid attention to me. I wish. Those aren't vain wishes. Those are forming your heart. And so that the day when you become a parent, that's the exact way you're going to love. Something I think similar happened with St. Teresa. All the consolation she desired, all the presence she desired, she lavished that upon her people. In the way that she wanted to be loved and she couldn't feel herself to be loved, she went out to love the people. So again, absence and lack are very beneficial spiritual realities. And the worst thing we could do is just to get stuck in them and to stay there banging at the stone in front of the tomb, yelling and hollering, rather than going with Mary and Blessed Mother Teresa to a place where a great spiritual fruit can be born from this, to where it can really take us into a deep sharing of what God experiences. And we can learn a stronger love that develops in the absence.